Okay, because I'm going to have to be reading from my paper and stuff. Mm-hmm.
Okay. During the time you were employed with the college, what are some of the most memorable moments?
Okay. Are you ready? Or you can take out what you don't want, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Hello, my TNCC family. First of all, I want to let you know that I have been here at Thomas Nelson since 1975-76 school year. So I have a ton of memories to let you know about today. Some of my most memorable moments. Okay. I can't get it out. I just can't. Woo! Mm-mm. Hello, my TNCC family. I have so many memories of TNCC. First of all, I would like for you to know that I've been here quite a long time. I started here in 1975-76 academic school year. The most memorable event that I can remember is my graduation from TNCC, which was in 1981. Another memorable event was my election to presidency of the SESA. Play day events, I remember the dances, I remember the parties, I remember all of the social events that we used to have. The most funniest memories was when I first came to financial aid. One day I was walking around the office and I felt something around the bottom of my legs. I couldn't imagine what it was. I looked down, and what was it? My slip. My slip had fallen down from under my skirt. Everyone in the office laughed. Believe me, it was not funny to me. Another memorable event was when we were on a SESA picnic. Renee Peterson and I decided to get into a paddle boat. Neither one of us had ever been in it before. We had a hard time getting out into the water, but after we got out, we had the worst time trying to get back in. She and I both stood up at the same time, trying to get out of the boat, which we couldn't. The water was coming up to our knees. We both panicked. No one could help us because everyone was laughing so hard. By the end of the day, we had new names. We were called the Paddleboat Queens. Now I would like to talk a little bit about quality customer service. To me, quality customer service is just an attitude. It's how you see people. It's how people see you. It's how you display your actions daily, in and out of the workplace, amongst the faculty, amongst the students, and definitely in public. Just be yourself. Just present acts of kindness. Be respectful to each other, especially to the students and the faculty. We work with each other every day, and quality customer service should be presented every day and everywhere. Just put yourself in the customer's place. How would you feel? If you can't remember anything, just do unto others. And last but not least, I have a few people that I'd like to thank, and I will always remember them. You remember earlier I said I started in 1976. Well, I had instructors there. I was a student, and a few instructors I'd like to personally thank. Ray Musier, you were my economics teacher. I had a hard time remembering how supply and demand worked, but after you talked about the strawberries and the whipped cream, I think I finally got it. Supply and demand. Jerry Morse, my volleyball instructor. I remember the time Another student and myself went up to the net at the same time. My finger got jammed, and you rushed over immediately to try to get my wedding band off of my finger before it started to swell. Richard Dixon, also one of my economic instructors. I remember you very well because your class was the furthest class on the campus. Your class was down by the library. As a matter of fact, it was past the library, where the old AV department used to be. You also taught me economics. Again, I hardly understood what economics was, but by the time I left your class, you made it possible for me to understand. Dr. Goldberg, you were the only instructor that I knew who never carried a history book. You walked across campus with a yellow sheet of paper rolled up in your hand. You came into the classroom, you began to teach, and all of the history in the world came out of your mouth. I thank all of you very much. Brenda Stansel Reynolds. I remember you because when I first enrolled, you were the lady at the counter who had the longest fingernails I had ever seen in the world. Henrietta Kane, you registered me that day. You asked me if all of the classes I had written down were the ones that I wanted to take. I had no idea. I said yes, and you registered me. Yvonne Blow, I can always remember you because you always had to have your breakfast in the morning, no matter what. But how in the world can you keep that figure that you have all of these years? Thank you, Yvonne, for making me have breakfast every morning. Tom Kellen, Joyce Basson, Diane Vincent, Vonda Robinson, Linda Gregory, Judy Jones, Mr. McRoy, Officer Daly. When I used to come out and work on Saturdays, I always brought my breakfast. Somehow I could never catch up with you, but one day you came in with a napkin tied around your neck, and you would always say, "What's for breakfast?" Marilyn Dempsey Starks, Steve Bask, Jackie Douglas, Shepard Graham, known as Shep. Thank you, Shep, for all the laughs you always gave me. Thurman London, known as T, I thank you for the encouraging words you would give me all the time and for all of the laughs. Anita Womack, Lisa Banks. Special thanks goes out to the financial aid office. Thank you for all the laughs over the years. Okay, okay. Playing on. Special thanks to the financial aid office for all of the laughs over the years, the crunch times that we went through during registration, the Chinese food on every Friday. Thank you so very much for all of the extra pounds that you put on me, for all of the every occasion parties we used to have. Special thanks goes to Renee Davis. She began driving me to work every morning and taking me back home every day, every evening. I thank you so very much. Extra special thanks goes to Renee Peterson for being there for me, for sharing so many memories with me, for being a true friend. We won't say how long we've been friends. We won't tell our age at this point. But it has been many, many years. That's all I'll say. I'll leave it at that. Lisa Johnson, thank you for keeping me on the payroll for over 24 years. Campus Police, I'd like to thank you so very much for keeping me safe. To all of those whom I did not name, Please know that you are held special in my heart. I will always cherish your friendship, and I'll always cherish the memories of you and Thomas Nelson. Farewell, and take care.
Whenever you're ready.
Go red light now. Hi, this is Bock, and I'm here to say goodbye. I've been at Thomas Nelson since 1985 as an adjunct and full-time since 1988. I think I've done it all. I was division chair for 3 years. I've been president of the faculty senate, so Thomas Nelson's been very good to me. I think the most fun stuff always is working with the students. I spent 6 years working as a Phi Theta Kappa advisor, and currently I'm the honors coordinator, and that is the fun stuff. Really, really enjoyed that when you have all the interaction with the students. There are so many people I want to thank who've helped me along the way. Some of them have gone, of course, moved on, like Ivy Waters and John Dever. But there's so many others. I've got some names written down so I don't forget anybody. First of all, there's the gang in the 329 area. Whichever division we belong to, we still had the basic good core of people there. Thanks to you all. And I think among my personal support group, I need to mention Ann Andrews, Faye Evans, Joyce Johnson, let's see, Pam Wood, Linda Godfrey, Nancy Bonilla, who's also not here now, Jerry Safko, Vic Thompson, Ann Evans. The support staff have been great. Well, T's taking this for me right now. And we also have Ruth Smith and the people who helped me put up with distance learning. And also Eileen Schweitzer in the library. They've always been wonderful and done everything needed to help us. And I think that's it. Just thanks to everybody in the community for everything they've done. Recently, Norm Ham has been wonderful to me, helping me with anything I need as honors coordinator. And my new division people, Mitch and Marsha, excellent, excellent people. And thanks again for everything. Thanks to everybody. Bye.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
When I think back about being at TNCC for the last 8 years, think about some really memorable times and memorable moments that I've had at the college. It's particularly thinking about the fact that I remember when we built the first green screen studio lab in the VCC. We had the first concert choir. We had the first study abroad trip in the history of Thomas Nelson, and just recently the first musical. So those times, those moments stand out for me. And in terms of other types of moments to do with teaching and learning, I think about sounds strange, but I think about going through the SRIs and reading the SRIs of faculty members to see the great things that are happening in the classroom and the great things that students are saying about faculty. Faculty professionalism and the faculty skill at doing what they do best, which is to teach. Also, think in terms of customer service, I'd want to say that I think that if we don't have good customer service at the college, that probably means we won't have any students. And the way to have good customer service is to treat students like students. They're customers, but they're more than customers. And they're the kind of customers that we all know how to treat well. Think about the kind of students that we have at Thomas Nelson, how diverse they are ethnically, how diverse they are intellectually, racially, and think about the kind of language that we need to learn in order to speak to that kind of student. It's the language that all of us know how to speak, that works in every culture, that works across cultures, and it's called the language of civility and respect. If we use that language to our customers, they won't go away, and they'll learn to respect and love Thomas Nelson the way we do. One thing, finally, I'd like to say is that I appreciate so much the members of the college community, faculty, staff, administration, all those people who make Thomas Nelson what it is. And to me, what Thomas Nelson is, what all great colleges are experiments in faculty and staff development. They allow us to grow. And that, I think, is what Thomas Nelson has done for me. So I want to thank Thomas Nelson, and I want to say to you all that I will certainly never forget you. Thanks for everything you've done for me and everything that you're doing for the students.